Hey guys, it's Chelsea with the Make It Box. So I did a show this weekend and everybody was absolutely taken with these the candy corn earrings that I made, and because they had resin on them. Everybody was in love with like the shine and the look of them. And so then I had a lot of people asking me how I do that. Here's what it looked like. Here's what they look like finished. You can see sort of that they have this really pretty clear shine over them. And so people were asking me, how do you do that? And it's actually a really easy process. And so I wanted to make a quick video to show you, because it does, it's easy, but it does take some finesse, and it did take a little bit of time for me to really get the hang of it. So I did want to just show you really quickly. I've already mixed up my resin. It's just clear. I use the Amulite clear cast, and you can see I'm just going to put like one drop, and that's actually kind of a big drop. It does not take very much resin to do this. You can put stuff in your resin if you want to. I have done that with some before, especially if you're doing ones like this one that's just the wood with the engraved flower. It's really, really pretty. It adds a nice little pop to it. But most of what I do is really just the clear. And so this one you can see is already starting to spread itself out because I had kind of a lot on that one. And you're going to want one toothpick to kind of hold it in place as you push your resin around. I'm actually going to take a little bit of this off because it's a little more than what I want. But you can see it gets kind of sticky. It likes to pick up and move around on you. So you do want one to kind of hold it in place. And really with the resin, you're just going to push it really easily with a toothpick out to the edge. This is doming and casting resin. So what it means is it will spread out as far as if I push it out to this edge, it's going to spread itself out to that and dome up. It has a really high surface tension. So it'll dome instead of just falling over the edge, which is really great when you're making these little small earrings. And so as long as I get my resin and I just kind of touch out to the sides, it'll self-level itself. Self-level, well, that's kind of redundant, but yes, it will self-level once I kind of get it all spread out. So it's going to level itself. I'm going to slide that one over. You don't really want to touch them afterwards. You don't want to try and pick them up. So again, the toothpicks are really handy for that. Something small, doesn't have to be a toothpick. This one, sometimes you're going to do like this one. I actually had to take some resin off because I put a little too much on there, and you can just sort of scoop it a little bit with your toothpick. These that have the engraving, sometimes you actually have to add a little bit more. But again, as long as you get it all the way out to the edge and you have some resin like touching this edge, I can add another drop, and I'll show you. I can actually take my resin and I can add another small drop, and it's just gonna self-level and dome up over the top. It's not going to spread itself out and go over the edge. I didn't put that much on there. And I really want to show this one. One thing that's really cool is it actually, oh, there's my dog. It actually pushed itself out to those edges where I scored this one. But it didn't go over the edge. I actually do want it to go all the way through, but it's neat if you only want resin in part of it and you score it. The resin won't naturally go past that score line, which is, again, kind of cool. This one I wanted to show you, though, because I actually just colored the outside edge of this one. This is walnut, and I just colored it with a Bic permanent Sharpie marker. I guess it's not Sharpie, it's Bic. But what's so cool is once you put this resin on, see how the color goes from this kind of dull shade, which is nice for some projects, but sometimes you really want that color to pop. And by putting the resin, I apologize for my dog. By adding the resin, it really, really makes it pop, and it'll hold that color. Like it will continue to have this really pretty pop of color. You can see, I'm gonna slide this one in. This one is one that I already put some resin on with the blue. Again, it's blue on walnut, but you can really see how the color absolutely pops on there. The other thing you have to really watch out for when you're doing resin, especially when there's engravings and stuff, is for the bubbles. And so I actually just use this a grill lighter. I don't use some people use like a heat gun. Some people use, just their breath. I don't think a heat gun is really warranted for something this small. The grill lighter works perfectly fine, but you do have to go back. Every 5 minutes or so, you want to go back and take a look, and just make sure you've gotten them, because they do sort of kind of rise up gradually, especially again with the engravings and such. And that's really it. So it doesn't take very much. Don't make a whole lot or you'll have a lot of extra. Just drop it on, spread it around a little bit. And in 24 hours, these will be ready for me to start putting backs on. And then they'll cure for another few days. They'll continue to cure, but after 24 hours, they're perfectly fine for handling. So just something fun to try, something to do to kind of take your stuff to the next level if that's something you want to do. And hopefully this helps those of you that were asking questions. This is really it. Plus, you can make a little extra money off of them. They have extra protection, and people love the really pretty shine they get. All right, so this is Chelsea with the Make It Fox, and I hope you found this helpful.